Um, I'm Ananta Ramachandran. I'm the Global Product Marketing Manager for the marketing and social apps within Dynamics 365. And thank you so much again for your interest in this session, which is about how you can win your market with actionable insights from social and web sources as well. This session is going to be co-presented by my awesome colleague as well. Rafa, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, this is Raphael speaking. I'm Program Manager for Social Engagement and AI for Market Insights, coming from Zurich, Switzerland.
Great.
Good to see.
Yeah. How are we all doing? Did we all enjoy the keynote? Are we all comfortable today? Just want to make sure you're having a good time, a great beginning to the event. Thumbs up, yeah? Come on. Oh, I know why it is. Like, a couple of folks have crossed several time zones. It's that time of the day. Maybe I'll ask you a nice question to warm up your engagement as well. What do you call a fish without an eye? Come on. Come on. Easy, isn't it? Yeah. So thank you. I hope to have a very engaging session. We want to make sure that we are landing some key information about the market trends, what's happening to our product strategy, and what's going to happen to the social applications that we offer through Dynamics 365. But before we begin, by a show of hands, may I know how many of us in this room already use Microsoft Social Engagement, the app offered by Dynamics 365? All right? How many of us use any of the other Dynamics 365 applications? That's good. So we got quite a good number of Dynamics 365 customers. So I'm presuming most of you are either here to understand how you can further leverage the social solutions that we offer, or you're here evaluating, adopting some of our social applications as well. You're here in the right place. This session will predominantly focus on what's happening in the market and how that is influencing our product strategy around social trends and what do you see in the next few months, right? So to land that information, here's the agenda that we have. Again, we are very open to having an engaging audience here. So we have enough time at the end for Q&A as well. So please feel free to ask your questions. We'd love to have you. We'd love to answer all your questions. And both Rafa and I will be available after this session as well to answer any of your questions that you have. We also have a booth at the Expo Station where you can connect with us as well, right? So this is the agenda that we have. We want to share what we see in the market and how that is shaping the product strategy. We're going to tell you what's new in Microsoft Social Engagement and also share information about the announcement that we made recently. We have plans to release Dynamics 365 AI for Market Insights, a new application for public preview starting from this fall here in the US. And also land information about what are the suggested next steps for you and then answer your questions that you may have. That's the agenda that we have. Does that meet your expectations? Right? Great. Thank you. So let's talk about what we see in the market. Based on what we hear from several customers and what we see in the market, many businesses face key challenges when they try to improve customer engagement and when they try to understand their market. Key challenges articulated by these popular statistics that are public-facing and industry known. Right? Here's the first statistics from Harvard Business Review. 38% of businesses are challenged to improve operations despite having digital capabilities because of siloed information. Another key stat is that only 80% of the consumers are more likely to do business with a company that offers personalized experiences. The third thing is even more startling. A huge loss of productivity is encountered when knowledge workers try to gather and make meaning out of information. Getting access to information and reasoning information is a huge challenge for many knowledge workers. Why do businesses face these challenges? Based on the conversations that we had with customers, it's primarily because of these patterns. One, businesses have data that is not connected. There is a separate pool of data that has information about what their customers and competitors are doing in the social space. And then there's another pool of data about what their customers and competitors are doing in the web space. When I say web space, I'm talking about what they are searching or what they are browsing. And then there's another set of data about what the customers and leads are doing, what we call as the operational data, business operations data. It is because the social data, the web data, and the business operations data are disconnected. And because the tools that operate on these data are also not connected, the insights are siloed. The insights that a social media manager has on a customer or a competitor could be different than the insights that a marketing manager who is running web ads may have, right? And it could be different from the insights that a salesperson is having, because the salesperson may not know what a lead has done in their marketing campaigns or what the lead has expressed in their social spheres as well. We want to solve this problem for many of our businesses. And that is the challenge that is pumping us up. The R&D team, the marketing team, all the teams within Microsoft really want to enable businesses transform their digital engagement strategy and help customers know their customers better and win their market. So the way we want to approach this is we want to make sure that the disparate data sources and the insights are all connected. We want to enable businesses to have complete insights that are powered by AI capabilities. We want to bring together search, social, and operations data all together so that you could derive meaningful, complete insights, and you could drive AI-powered business processes as well. This is the product strategy with which our teams are approaching the subsequent evolutions of our products within Dynamics 365 social space. Well, we know we have a lot of customers who already use Microsoft Social Engagement. I know we have a few of you here. So what's going to happen is, as part of the October 18th release, we're going to provide you some incremental updates that will be available within Microsoft Social Engagement. Key updates include, now, let's say you're a marketer running marketing campaigns and setting a buyer's journey using Dynamics 365 for marketing. You want to know what are all the social insights and interactions that happen during your buyer's journey or during events that your team runs. It will be possible starting from the October 18th release because the social insights will be available within the marketing app for the buyer's journey and events as well. That's a key update that's going to be available after October 18th release. Similarly, we're going to make the social insights dashboards available on Dynamics 365 UCI client. So if you go to Dynamics 365 app, like a marketing app, as part of the out-of-box dashboards that you get within the app, you would also get an social insights dashboards that gives you rich insights about what people are talking about and what are the tags and what are the conversations that are going to be relevant for you. So the out-of-box dashboards are also going to be available from October 18th release. And we're also going to make Microsoft Social Engagement capabilities available in additional languages. For example, there are like 5 new languages that is going to be supported by this application as well. These are incremental updates that will be available within Microsoft Social Engagement. To help you understand what is available and what is new, I'm now going to request Rafa to give us a quick overview of the app and also specifically highlight what are the incremental updates that are coming up during October. Rafa, take it away from here.
Thank you. I saw that some people also not have had experience with social engagement so far. I know some have. Who hasn't so far? Please raise your hand. Okay. So before we start saying what's new, maybe we quickly clarify what is social engagement. It's a tool which acquires data based on a search topic, based on a keyword. Could be your company, could be a brand, a product, anything what you type into the search engine, and acquires data on different social media channels like Twitter, blogs, YouTube, Instagram, online news, etc. And the social engagement tool is a dashboard which is predefined already, and you can consume data from different channels and get a first understanding of insights of the social data which got acquired based on your search topic. With the new release of social engagement in October or afterwards also in the spring time frame, we will release the integration into Dynamics 365 for marketing. Let me quickly give you this as on the screen. So Dynamics 365 for marketing is a tool to track your campaigns, to also set up the campaigns before. In this tool, you have now the integration of, sorry, need to quickly go back.
Yep. So as Rafa tries to get that back, so we've recently launched Dynamics 365 for marketing. It's a marketing automation solution. So if you're a marketer, it can help you set up buyer's journey, run insights, run events and all. With the October update, you will see that you can also get social insights relevant to that buyer's journey or events. Rafa, walk us through that.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, now, social engagement is part of Dynamics 365 with a direct integration, and you have the possibility to have the different categories and the different charts directly populated in Dynamics 365 for marketing without going to social engagement. Social engagement, as said, is a tool which is underneath Dynamics 365 normally for all the engagement, customer engagement, and enterprise licenses, and we now have also integrated it in Dynamics 365 for marketing. Not switching a tool to analyze social data on Dynamics 365 for marketing, to see the social data here, to filter on the different insights for specific sources, etc. That's exactly what we wanted to do, and that's what we will release in the next weeks.
It's part of the October 18 release that is coming up.
What Ananta also already said is that we have launched and will launch in the next weeks new acquisition languages. An acquisition language in 5 new languages which will open up the market for social engagement in more than 700 million people, for more than 700 million people, speakers in Bahasa, in Korean, in Hindi, in Czech, and Hungarian. Acquisition language means you have 24 languages in social engagement which acquire data in these languages. And if you haven't got Bahasa, you couldn't listen to Bahasa language. Only Bahasa is 250 million speakers worth to integrate this language, and I think this is something very valuable for our new release.
So you heard about the incremental updates that are going to be coming up for Microsoft Social Engagement. As we started, right, we hear from customers that they need something beyond social listening and social engagement. They need social insights and also web insights to know their customers completely, know their competitors' activities, and win the market. So if you're looking for something beyond social engagement, you also want those social and web insights, we request you to try the public preview of this new app that's coming up again during fall of this year. It's called Dynamics 365 AI for Market Insights. And Rafa is going to walk us through some of the key capabilities here. But before Rafa does that, essentially what we want to, the line of our thinking is that we want to help customers know their target audience better, know their customers better. We want to enable businesses to build their brand, gain a competitive advantage, and also support their unique business needs. These are the promises that we want to support, that we want the application to enable our customers to do, so that they're able to transform their businesses digitally and also win their market. So in order for us to support these outcomes that are so important for our target customers, Dynamics 365 AI for Market Insights will have some key capabilities that will enable these outcomes. Key capabilities such as you also get search insights. You can gain insights based on what people are seeking on Bing. You can also get predictive insights based on demographics. You can also gain historical insights based on search activities. So these search insights will also help you know your audience and market better. So in addition to search insights, Dynamics 365 AI for Market Insights will also include the MSE capabilities. So you get the social insights as well. You can understand sentiment. You can also identify the reason behind the intent. And you can also drill down and find the actual causes and take the required action for any of the social activities for your target audience. We also support capabilities for helping businesses enhance their brand reputation. For example, sentiment analysis. You could get customizable alerts. For example, if there are certain business conditions or some market conditions that you want to be alerted immediately, you could set up your conditions and you'd get an email right into your inbox so that you could take action immediately as well. You can also track and engage with influencers who can help amplify your digital voice and help you build your brand as well. We also have the social care capabilities. I mean, you can engage on different channels where the customers are. You could use workflow automation to convert any social interactions to any service requests or things like that. We also support social selling capabilities, right? So you can source high-quality leads from these social channels. You can stay in touch with your customers using these social channels and social hashtags as well. You could share content and automatically route posts based on what is the intent behind those posts as well. So these are some of the hero key capabilities that will be available within Dynamics 365 AI for Market Insights. Again, if you want social listening, you can use Microsoft Social Engagement. We're going to have incremental updates to that. If you want social engagement with social insights and web insights, we strongly encourage you to try the public preview of the upcoming app, which is Dynamics 365 AI for Market Insights. It's going to be available in US this fall, and we're going to make it available in more countries as well. We want to use the public preview to gather feedback from you and to come up with more compelling capabilities and come up with more compelling offers for you so that we can help you win your market as well. To give you a bit more details about the overview, I'm going to request Rafa to show a demo of the overview capabilities of this upcoming preview application as well. Rafa? Yep.
Will it be available in Europe as well from the start or not?
So I'd love to answer that question. Just for the purpose of people who will hear the session online later, may I request you to ask the question in the mic? I'll repeat the question this time. So the question was whether this application will be available in Europe. The current plan is we will release this Dynamics 365 AI for Market Insights in US sometime during fall, and we are expanding the public preview to additional markets, which also includes some of the European markets during the public preview period. So when you go, we have created a web page for Dynamics 365 AI for Market Insights. You could request updates, and we'll notify you as and when it becomes available in more markets. Okay? Thank you. Rafa, give us an overview, please.
Yes. I don't want to go into this slide. I will show it live. But who has set up social engagement from scratch, an empty solution so far? 2 people? Did you have challenges? Just a bit. Okay, which ones? Okay.
It was also difficult to get to, I think you start out knowing the result you want to get, figuring out how to get to that result, building up, all the different components needed to get there. You got to put in a couple of hours just to do what in your mind is simple. I want to find, updates about this product. Microsoft is launching something new. Let me just put in a keyword and it'll find it.
Yeah. Good points. So when you entered social engagement the first time, you saw an empty dashboard. And, I bought a drone 3 weeks ago. And I wanted to start the drone. And I packed it out. And the first thing what I did is instructions in the bin. That's normal. That's not a man's thing. Everybody is doing that. We know that. And when you don't read instructions for social engagement and have an empty dashboard. If you don't read instructions for a drone, it will not fly, and it didn't fly. And so I needed to take out my instructions, read through it, watch some YouTube videos, and then it worked well. And then I was curious because it worked well. I was flying around, and then I was in the mood to watch again additional YouTube videos and train myself. When you see an empty dashboard, you have not so much of an interest to go further. You maybe don't know exactly what to do. And the search topics, to create them, in most cases, you have to read a bit of instructions, help center, and maybe you've done that, but a lot of people didn't in the past. And that's why we will now launch with AI for Market Insights a new quick setup experience. First of all, the solution, the tenant, is actually provisioned within only 5 seconds. Not anymore, I think it was about 10 minutes. The second thing is we are launching an app which will drive you through the setup process, and when it's done, you already enter the data with preloaded historical data of the last 30 days. So you will not see an empty dashboard. And we will also do another thing in the search setup, which I will show you best possible on slides, for example. The setup experience we will launch with AI for Market Insights is, first of all, a quick intro. What are people saying? You type in whatever you want to search for. And let's make an example with diversity and Ignite. Diversity is a big topic at Ignite and in general at Microsoft. In the language English, you get some initial posts proposed to review, is this really what I'm looking for? And when you then start collecting with one press on continue, it takes about 1 minute and you are finished with the setup process and you not anymore have an empty dashboard. This would actually be like buying a flying drone, already flying drone. And think about one thing. In the past, MSE, Microsoft Social Engagement, was sold underneath Dynamics 365 and will still be sold underneath Dynamics 365. And when you have a focus on Dynamics 365 on CRM, you enter social engagement, don't know what it is, you have not real focus on it. This would be like somebody will give me a drone and I don't know what it is. And then it's not flying. So that's a big of a change with the new launch of AI for Market Insights. The setup experience is not ending here. We will transfer these two words inside diversity and Ignite into keyword rules, which you probably would not do normally. When you just set up diversity Ignite as a keyword, you will not have diversity Ignite in one sentence, in one word, hashtag, and the @ sign. And a second keyword rule, which would be diversity as a keyword and Ignite as an inclusion. And inclusion is coming up in a sentence, a paragraph, and a post, so it doesn't need to stand right next to each other to have a criteria to match to acquire a post. You have a question? Yes?
This looks great. Is this not going to come to social engagement? Will it only be in Market Insights? This is amazing stuff.
Fair question.
Rafa, can you repeat the question for the online audience?
Repeating the question was if this is also a feature for social engagement and not only for AI for Market Insights. And this is actually a feature we will have available in both products. You will be able to consume it in both.
So who likes to get some insights within 5 minutes? Love it, right? Thank you. That's the objective that has been pumping the R&D team as well. They are excited about this as well.
Okay. 4. Let me try to bring this up again. Wow, it worked now. Rob is our technician. Rob, how many people are in the room? Around 20? Okay. Rob, one more question. Do you know how old they are? Okay. Let's figure out. Okay. With the new launch of AI for Market Insights, we will include web search data, trend data from search, as well as age and gender. You see that on the start screen when we have the new line here, which is bringing up the search trends. And we have the age data and the gender data on the left side. Let me quickly change the time frame, or let's leave it like that. 3 things are shocking me when I see these new charts. Do you know what? First, do we really have only 15% of people who are interested in Ignite, because this is the search topic people typed in on the search engines in the last time? 15% of people which are between 18 and 34. Is this true? So if this would be the case, 15% out of 20 would be 3? I'm not in this range, I'm older, I'm 37. Who is in this room between 18 and 34 years old? Please raise your hand. 1, 2.
Can I claim I'm 18 forever?
You too? Okay. 2? Okay, at least in the average, we have people who search for Ignite on the search engine in the past weeks, which are more than 15, more than we have in average here. In average, it would be 3. We only have 2 in this range. A bit of shocking because you're the future, digital, let's say, digital childs. Digital natives are the ones, I think, 34 and above. The second thing, what was shocking for me is 17% of the people who search on the search engines for Ignite are female. This would be also, again, around 3 people. Yeah, question?
Is this search only in the Bing search engine, or is it all search engines?
Currently Bing. Currently. I'm sorry? It seems 17% who at least are interested in Ignite and search for Ignite and content from Ignite are female. And when we calculate this would be around 3.5 people. And I count 1, 2, 3, 4, if I'm not misleading. 4 women. It's exactly this range. I think when we are having a topic like diversity, we need to do much more towards more female visitors and more female people who are interested in Ignite.
Yep.
You agree? Okay.
But the key point is that, so if you're running an event, you not only want to know how many people attended it, right? You want to know what type of people attended it, right? Like what's the demographic insights, What is the gender insights? What are they talking about? Which languages are they conversing in? What are the key phrases that they are talking about? When you get that kind of an insights, you can really offer personalized experiences during events and really know your customers better as well. So the point that we are trying to make here is you could gather insights that are beyond the normal numbers and the data that you get. You get insights based on demographics, gender, popular phrases, popular sources, popular languages, and things like that, which is very impactful for a lot of our businesses.
For a marketing manager, this is exactly what you're trying to figure out before the event. You see that the discussions on social media, these are the other two graphs in this center chart. The discussions on social media don't start as early as people search for these events on social media. You know what the third thing is, what was shocking me? You know what these are? These are the weekends. It seems that nobody cares about Ignite at the weekends. It seems to be a business topic, and that's okay. You're here for business. And you know why this is a bigger gap? 3rd of September, if I'm not misleading, was Labor Day in US and public holiday. So you enjoyed your long weekend with your families and friends, and that's good like that. We had a question?
No, just a remark, because Bing is not really used in Europe, it's my experience, because outside the US it gives other search results, so it seems kind of fair that if you have the bigger spend on Europe, then there was no holiday at Bing. And to add on that, and also to add on your remark, there might also be a correlation between queue percentage of people aged below 34 and only Bing results. But I think generally your people below 34 are switching on Bing.
So again, I want to be careful here.
Question repeating?
Let's not extrapolate the actual results to Ignite or to Bing or anything like that. The key point that we're trying to make sure is, if you're a marketer running events, you can get insights beyond how many people attended. You can get insights based on what are the demographics, what are the gender, what are the popular phrases, what is the period of high volume activity. Those are the kind of insights that will help you truly understand your audience, know them better, and create more compelling value to them. Right?
Drill down on the 70% who work with female, can I see the sentiment that they are talking about instead of the whole sentiment?
Again, the question was, what can we drill down from these high-level insights and see what else is available inside?
Yeah. So currently, this is what we start for preview. A drill down on these metrics is not yet possible. The good thing is that we will add also for social data in the long run meaning in the next months, these metrics like the age and the gender data, and this will help to complete the whole analysis, not only for search. Okay, let me switch to the AI features of AI for market insights. First of all, I love that name, AI for market insights. You know why? Market insights. Market insights are an interplay of customers, competitors, and your company. You agree? It means everything. And the second thing is AI. Everybody of us has in his and her job enough to do. And we all have a lot of data. We heard that this morning from Satya. A lot of unstructured data available. And to get the best out of this, we need some help from tools. And there are very clever guys out there, data scientists, developers, who are configuring and training the algorithms to get the insights, the artificial intelligence insights for your market into a tool that you can consume it easily, and you save your time, and you can do your job better. By the way, I'm not one of those clever guys. I'm not a data scientist. I'm not a developer, but I'm working at least with them, and let me show you what is available in the tool. So when you're a marketer for Ignite, you have a lot of data available, and to get some out of this data, you see in the last time frame, which we have over here, let's say around 9 days, we have more than 22,000 posts. Post is a tweet, is an online news article, is a YouTube video, and it's impossible to get more out of it without the help of a tool or artificial intelligence. The Conversation tab has one chart which gives you intentions, which mean you have every post analyzed if there is a purchase intent, somebody wants to buy something, a complaint, a support request, somebody is seeking for help, or an information request. And when you have these intentions, you can drill down into them very easily and see, is this something I want to focus on, because you maybe leave out the rest. These are maybe the ones which are most important for you. Wait, purchase intent, Ignite, somebody wants to buy Ignite, that cannot be true. With a simple click, I have narrowed down on only the purchase intents, and I see here Thursday night, buy ticket. Okay, it's about the tickets of the event probably. And when I go into the posts, let's read that one. Still looking to purchase a celebration pass. Husband is coming out with me for our 27-year anniversary. Anyone got one or sell, please PM. Oh, that's a very sweet thing. I think for Thursday night, celebrating the 27-year anniversary with 27,000 people is the best thing what you can do. When you would love to have more information now and collaborate with them, you can do this directly here by replying, or because it's a purchase intent and it's automatically analyzed, I can create an automation rule. Why do I want to do that? An automation rule gives me an automated push from these posts which got analyzed automatically to the CRM, and in the CRM system, those people who were interested this year in Ignite and couldn't have a ticket so far, they would probably be also interested in Ignite next year. And then I can just create an automation rule with an action to link this and all the newly incoming posts which are getting analyzed as a purchase intent as a lead to my Dynamics 365 instance, so that the sales team can follow up. Me as a marketing manager, I can also follow up. I can make a specific campaign, and that's all what you need. Great. Let me go back. And give you another example for HoloLens. HoloLens, everybody knows it, everybody loves it, nobody has it, but still we have a lot of discussions around HoloLens. And as a marketing manager for HoloLens, you want to be aware of all the discussions happening on the social media channels, as well as web trends. And the sentiment, which is here one intelligence part, is analyzing each post next to the intention analysis, if it's a positive, a negative, or neutral post. The intention analysis, great thing, but I think for having also a focus on only positive posts or only negative posts, that's also a great thing to have. The intention index, which is currently at 8.9 for HoloLens in this particular time frame, is very good. +10 would be the best. would be no negative discussions, only positive discussions. -10 would be only negative, no positive. It's a ratio between positive and negative posts. Which means we're pretty safe right now, especially because it's trending positively upwards. So far, so good. Some more details about the sentiment. Why is this also ML, machine learning? We have a base model of sentiment analysis which analyzes each post. And this is a base model which is for every social engagement solution, as every AI for market insight solution the same. And some people would say, hey, this is not a negative post, this is a positive post, or the other way around. And this could happen because your specific branch or your specific view, personal view, is different than a base model. Example, do you know Halo, this war game for Xbox? Okay, so people are writing about Halo, like shootings, blood, whatever, right? Bad stuff. And this would be normally negative. But for a shooting game, this is pretty normal, maybe neutral or even positive. So you could change the sentiment to say, for me, this is positive, this is negative, and the sentiment-based model adapts through your curations. That means you have artificial intelligence, and you, in addition, as being not a developer, maybe you are, but in general, you are not if you're using this tool, you're not a data scientist, you can adopt the sentiment model to your needs and you train it yourself, so we make artificial intelligence and machine learning available just in a simple tool with 2 clicks. Okay, now as a marketing manager for HoloLens, I also see anomalies. And one anomaly is, through the tool, I see there's a spike on the 18th. Why does this happen? I want to figure out what's happening here. So I go to the Conversations tab, and I see, yes, this is about mixed reality and dynamics. And when I click on dynamics, I have drilled down now on all the posts which are correlated to HoloLens as well as dynamics in this particular time frame, and it's positively. Let me go quickly back to the overview chart, and I see exactly this was something where people were talking at 3 p.m. at that day, and this caused this spike. And if I want to know more, I just go through some post and see that Microsoft is putting HoloLens to work with new Dynamics 365 application, etc., etc. Great. Easy to use, and the insights are pre-populated. You just need to find them with some anomalies, with some spikes, or with some automated analysis like intention analysis. You know what? I have to read that sentence. I asked one of my data scientists, clever guys, hey, I will do a presentation about artificial intelligence and about sentiment. What shall I tell the attendees about sentiment analysis? And he said, tell them, sentiment is developed using combination of distant supervision and supervised learning techniques. So you know now all. Me neither. But you know, the funny thing is, we don't have to, because it's everything in the tool, and these clever guys are doing everything in the back end that people who have no clue about artificial intelligence, who are not developers, can use the tool very easy, still consume artificial intelligence. Okay. Let me go back to a time frame which is valuable for another showcase. As a marketing manager, we know sentiment is important and the overall volume. Do you know how many posts from these 7,000 posts in this time frame had been done by HoloLens Twitter handle or Facebook post from the HoloLens Facebook post itself? In this time frame, let's say 9 days. I would assume maximum 20. And all the rest, 7,000 posts in this 9 days, had been done by other people. If you don't know who this is, but want to figure out who this is and who is driving the positive discussions, who is an ambassador for your brand, you can do that very easily. First of all, an ambassador is someone who is talking positively about your brand. I'm drilling down with visual filtering into only positive posts. Let's focus on Twitter, because it's easy to read, short phrases and sentences. Then I have here another filter called Reach. With a Reach score, I have narrowed down the people who are talking positively about my brand on Twitter in this particular time frame, which have a huge Reach score, meaning they have a lot of followers, they are posting a lot, they are relevant. And think about it. If I have someone with, let's say, 40 or 50,000 followers, and this person is just retweeting something what was positively discussed about HoloLens or my post, then it would mean that 40,000 people read his post and they also can reshare again, meaning I have a huge distribution, and as a marketing manager, I want to have a huge distribution of positive posts about my brand. Now, if I now go into some details, I can see, okay, this is maybe an offer which would be interesting to follow. I have so far not yet a relationship to him. I can check this here, so I can do this directly, start following. And I tagged this person already as a HoloLens ambassador. This is an author tag. With the author tag, you say, okay, this is a great guy I want to be aware of. I want to easily filter down to the posts which this important person is saying. But it's not only one person, it's maybe 3, 5, or 200. And depending on whatever you have provided as an author tag, it's very easy to configure. You have just to press on the plus and then press enter. You can tag different authors. And let's do this, for example, with this person too. Okay, this is a great HoloLens ambassador. Thank you very much. Good. I now can filter on the author tags and see only the posts from the most important people which are acting on my brand, which are posting positively about my brand. Remember, the whole tool should give you a narrowed down view, a specific view on those posts which are most relevant. And you can use it through AI and through these features to not have to cope with 7,000 posts or as Ignite, 22,000 posts. That's exactly what we should do. Now, that is a great example for this part, but one last thing I want to drive heads, I want to foster. This intention tag is predefined. It's all out of the box and you can just use it. Similar to this intention tag, you can define an own tag, whatever you want, and start training it. I've done this with a tag called healthcare. About 2 weeks ago, I saw people talk about HoloLens and healthcare. HoloLens is used for surgeries and to calm down little children during some surgeries, etc., right? In the hospitals, in healthcare, all of this is a huge topic. And you don't have very precisely defined words which are matching. You use AI. What you do is, you take a post, you see, okay, this is about HoloLens and healthcare, and you tag it. And when you have tagged it with healthcare, the algorithm learns. And it will learn over time. The more you tag, the better it's getting. And starting from 40 or 50 posts which you tagged, it will automatically tag newly incoming posts with the same topic, even though it's not an exact word. It understands the post. Again, AI, and as a marketing manager, I now have seen, okay, this was just some posts about healthcare and about HoloLens, but it's now a rising topic. So as a marketing manager, what do? Maybe because this is a positive discussion, we see it's mostly positive. We have a possibility to make a blog post to foster this conversation. We can make a YouTube video, a use case video. We can reach out to the folks which are saying, for example, this children's hospital uses HoloLens augmented reality to calm young patients down during medical procedures. That's a very nice example to foster positive conversations about HoloLens, and that's exactly my job as a marketing manager. Cool. So one thing about what we are using here in the back end. Azure Machine Learning. And Azure Machine Learning is perfect for these actions because our data scientists don't need to directly go to and work with developers to create, to test, to operationalize their ideas, their algorithms. And Azure Machine Learning and Azure itself has a high reliability, scalability, accuracy, and like that, you have a very good back end to work without having a need for a developer when you're a data scientist. It's very fast and reliable, and that's why we are using Azure Machine Learning. For my last example, I would love to give you a use case example on the social center. Has anybody used the social center so far? You created streams probably and figured out what it is about. It's did you also use some workflows through different streams? Okay. Yes. Okay. So let me show you what you can already do now, but also for sure with AI for market insights. We have someone here, who would love to get more information how we can use HoloLens for healthcare purposes. Heard it is more and more used in hospitals. How? Awesome stuff to come. Okay, somebody is interested. I'm now playing the role of customer care agent supervisor. And I have on the left an inbox with all the incoming posts. And Anantha, would you play the role of customer care agent who's actively, operatively working?
Happy to report to you.
Okay, good. So this is my view. And when I say, okay, this is relevant for some follow-ups, I set this post on active and assign Ananta, and it's getting removed out of my stream. But it's showing up on the customer care agent stream from Ananta, who has it now in his inbox. So you receive one of these posts here. What would you do, Ananta?
For this person looking for some information, I would share the video of the related session at Ignite and perhaps create them as a lead so that we could nurture them.
Okay, let's make an example. Watch the video at Ignite. So you reply, and then this case is kind of solved. It could be some follow-up discussions, but could be also solved. And then finished. Okay, great. Customer care agent sets it on resolved, and the post is not longer available here, and is again in the customer care view. This view and this view is from the customer care supervisor. This view is only from the customer care agent. This means customer care agent is ready for new tasks, for new operational tasks to answer posts. And the inbox is cleaned up from this particular post. And the resolved cases, I have kind of a structured list of cases I don't need to take care about anymore. Hey, and did you see here on the right side, and we're coming back to what we have set up in the front. I'm coming back in a second. What we've set up was HoloLens ambassadors. This was a tag, right, which we gave someone and multiple people. Here I have set up a stream with HoloLens ambassadors. You don't need to filter on the user interface to this author tag and type in HoloLens ambassador as an author tag and filter then all the data. You can also have one of these different streams for the marketing manager set up, not only for customer care agents, and can directly from over here have some automation rules or create an alert. That's actually also something what you can, what is very valuable to stay up to date. If you don't want to filter the whole time on something what is relevant for you, you just automate it and say, give me a trend alert when people are talking more and more or less than in average. For example, an ambassador has 10 posts per month about your brand, and when this person is talking 12 times or 15 times more or only 2 times more, then you want to have a trend alert, which is then pushing this information directly to an email recipient, to your marketing manager, and you get pre-informed about what's happening, and then you can directly go into the tool on social engagement. We have had one question.
Yes, it would be a basic question, but can you combine the streams with the queues you set up in customer service so you get these tweets in there and combine with all the other
In CRM?
sort of stuff that you get into your queue?
In CRM? Yeah. So everything what we do here, every post can be rerouted as a case, as a lead, as any other entity into CRM. It ends up there as a so-called social activity. And from there, the CRM rule framework will work to split or to post it, to reroute it in CRM to the place where you want. Yeah. Okay, great. Ananta.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah.
So that was a good overview. Did you find, essentially, it was great for me to see how you could get search insights, how you can get sentiment analysis as well, and also how you can configure that sentiment to work for your business, even though it is powered by AI. and also how you can identify and engage with influencers or ambassadors to help build your brand. And finally, you could also get alerts to notify about key business conditions as well. I think such a capability will be very compelling for marketers, social media managers, and anyone who is actually researching their market, someone like a product manager or a business analyst as well. So if you're currently using MSE, you can continue to use MSE. We have the incremental updates coming up during October. But if you are a business that is also looking to have social engagement and also have these social insights and web insights on top of it to get complete understanding of your customers and your market, please try the public preview of this AI for Market Insights app that's coming up in fall in US and to more markets subsequently as well. Well, here's a slide, right? You may say there are tons of solutions available in markets that give you insights, and what is a unique value that we aspire to give to businesses, right? Number one, well, we want to enable businesses with both social and web insights. You don't have to go to two different sources to get these two different insights and then reason them yourself. We want to give you insights that are powered by both social and web activities. And you can also drill down. You have like really good analytics widgets. You can also drill down to actually know the reason and the activities that gave you those insights as well. Another key differentiator is intent analysis. You can automatically identify the intent behind a post and then route them to a service agent or create a lead for your salespeople to act on. We also provide unique capabilities like sentiment analysis to help you track and improve your brand reputation. You saw the demo of how you can identify and engage with influencers who can amplify your digital voice and help build your brand as well. And then finally, you saw how easy it is to set up. You saw that it takes about like less than 5 minutes to quickly start the app and get some insights, right? And it's very easy to use. You saw the UI where it is any business person can go and configure their key phrases or key topics of interest to them and get some quick insights. So it's very easy to use as well. So the combination of these is what makes our solution really compelling in the market and makes us unique in the market as well. So you've heard about Microsoft Social Engagement updates. You've heard about the upcoming public preview release of Dynamics 365 AI for Market Insights. What we suggest you to do is now take advantage of these resources. So while at Ignite, you could connect with us at the Dynamics 365 AI booth in the Expo Flow. Rafa and I will be there. And then you could also attend a couple of additional sessions. There's a session coming up on Dynamics 365 AI overview because we're also launching additional AI-powered apps as well. You've heard about the Sales Insights app and the Service Insights app. You want to go to this session to understand what are the other AI-based applications that Dynamics 365 is releasing as well. Rafa's got another theater session where he's going to demo more capabilities as well. And you can network with your peers to understand, hey, how we are using the concept of AI, how we are gathering some insights from both your social and web sources, and try to formulate the plan of action for your business as well. And then once you get back, right, you could always go to our web page to request updates so that once the Market Insights app is available for preview, you would be notified and you could start previewing that. Give us feedback because we really want to make sure that we come out with compelling capabilities and attractive pricing that will make it very compelling for you to actually use that application to know your customers and win your market. And we will also have help and training pages that will help you understand how to use these capabilities very easily as well. So these are some of the suggested next steps for you folks here. And then at this time, I'd love to open it up for any questions that you have. We'd love to answer them for you. If you have any questions, if you can come to the mic, it will be helpful for the online audience. If not, we will repeat the question and answer as well. So, any questions?
What I would also love to emphasize is CRM Ideas is a place where you can set up some ideas or you can vote on existing ideas. And why we have Bahasa as a new acquisition language, as seen in the beginning, this was because a lot of people in this area wanted to use social engagement and AI for market insights in the future and couldn't because the acquisition of the data wasn't in their language. And to prioritize these languages, then this was CRM Ideas was very helpful, and this is exactly the same also for other features which you see now and in the future with AI for Market Insights.
There's a question there.
Does the AI marketing, does that come with when you have Dynamics 365 for marketing, or for which other applications does it come with?
The question is whether Dynamics 365 AI Market Insights is going to be packaged and included within existing Dynamics 365 app or any plan. So currently, Dynamics 365 AI for Market Insights is going to be released for public preview. It's like a standalone application. We're going to use the learnings from the public preview to add capabilities and also decide the pricing and packaging as well. So at this time, we request you to sign up for public preview, use the application, and give us feedback. That'll help you create offers and capabilities that will be compelling for you. Okay. That's another question.
Are you looking to integrate other search engines as well?
So we want to enable businesses to get the right insights to make the right actions as well. So try the public preview and give us some insights on what kind of additional sources based on which you want to gather some insights, and we'll definitely make sure that it's part of the roadmap, or we'll release capabilities mapping to those sources as well. But at this stage, when we release the public preview release in fall in US, right, you would have search insights based on Bing.
So with the preview version, will we be able to integrate that with our existing Dynamics 365 platform and be able to see those contacts and what they're doing on the web and things of that nature, even though it's the preview version?
Yes. Let me answer this question. So if I understood you right, the question is if you have right now Dynamics 365, if you can somehow get access to the preview features on your existing social engagement environment?
No, sure.
We don't have social engagement.
You have not social engagement.
So
Okay.
The question was, when you start using Dynamics 365 AI Market Insights public
Yes.
preview,
You integrate.
you also have, let's say, Dynamics 365 for sales or Dynamics 365 for marketing.
Yeah.
Is there an integration between these two?
Yes. Yes, this is.
Yeah.
The SKU will probably be a standalone SKU, meaning you have an integration, you have the dashboard and the new features, etc. But all the integrations which currently social engagement has into CRM, you can also use in this preview. So you have everything.
Yeah. So think about Dynamics 365 Market Insights as this, right? It's MSE plus Web Insights and Social Insights.
Yeah. And all the integrational scenarios in the public preview. Yeah.
Any other question? So would your business benefit from having both Social Insights and Web Insights in one place? Like the insights about a customer or a market gets really well-rounded when you have both these insights in the same place. You don't have to go to two different places to have a point of view about your customer or your market. Yeah. So the question was, what is the targeting difference between who MSE is for and who Dynamics AI for Market Insights is for? Is that right? Yeah. So if you're running social media campaigns for your business, all you need is social insight, social listening, and social engagement, right? Microsoft Social Engagement has capabilities to enable outcomes for that particular role, like the social media manager role. However, if you are a marketing person who wants to gather insights based on what's happening in the social world and also what's happening in the search world, if you are a product manager or a business analyst who wants to understand what your customers or your target audience is talking about your products, for those roles, right, it's important for them to have insights based on both social as well as web. So Dynamics 365 for AI for Market Insights can be a better value for them. So AI for Market Insights expands the scope of our target audience from basic social media management to even marketing resources and also market researchers like product managers and business analysts. Yep.
Currently, it's the search, yeah. But be aware, and this is something what changed in the last 3 months. We have doubled our team size towards Bing Insights team, the Bing Predicts team. And merged the social engagement team with the Bing Predicts team, which is now a small start with what we just saw. And you will in our product, lighting up an AI for Market Insights.
So essentially, what Rafa is saying is that the social workload is getting really important for a lot of our target businesses, and hence it's getting very, very important for Dynamics 365 as well. There's tremendous investment in terms of team consolidations and looking at roadmap, talking to a lot of customers, understanding what the market does. So the entire Dynamics 365 team is really focused, pumped up about what we want to offer to enable businesses to gather more insights and win their market. There's a lot of investment and excitement within the Dynamics 365 world.
People on search engines log in, and when they log in with a profile, they provide also their gender and their age. And they search for specific words. And based on these words which are searching, those who are not logged in and have not provided this data, they're getting mapped with AI to pretend the age and the age ranges as well as the gender. Exactly. Yeah, we for some people who search for Ignite, we have the data. For others, we haven't. But depending on how they are searching, we are predicting this also for those where we not have got the data. That's actually also why we launch it underneath AI, because this is not trivial, just with counting, and has a lot of things in the back end. Exactly. Yeah. A lot of providers are doing this, and we light it up now here in AI for Market Insights.
Okay. Any other question? Folks, I'd like to close by saying that we are absolutely excited to enable businesses to use both social and web insights to win their market. Dynamics 365 AI for Market Insights is going to be available for public preview in fall in US, and we are also exploring releasing it in additional markets as well. Please visit the web page to sign up for updates or sign up for preview as well. Give us some feedback and help your business use the actionable social and web insights to win their market. Thank you again so much for your time and interest today. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.